Hi, welcome to Magic for Life. My name is Michael Johnson, and I'm so glad you found your way to us today. I want to take a little bit of time to tell you a little bit about me and also Magic for Life and what we're all about. I started dancing ballroom dance when I was 5 years old, and I've been dancing ever since. I had a long professional career. I danced competitively in the professional ranks and on that circuit for about 10 years. And I have trained in NLP, life coaching, personal development, peak performance for years. It's been one of my passions is to help people and to be able to try to take people to that next level. So it's always been something I've searched after and looked to do in my life, to be able to help contribute on a greater whole, to bring people's life into a better place through dance and through the arts. I have a great family. I have 4 children, and we just have a great time. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about Magic for Life and how it all works. So I had been creating champions and working with dancers from amateur to pro, and I really felt like I was making some headway in my teaching. Long after I had retired from competing, and I just felt like I really wanted to be able to help my students be able to unlock their full potential. This has always been super important to me. I've had great mentors that were constantly on my case, trying to get me to reach my fullest potential. And through the years, I just have found that I couldn't bring in enough masters, enough other coaches to help support my dancers and the team that we'd created for each of those dancers to be able to improve at the rate they needed to. I had created numerous champions from the youth levels to the novice and into the amateur levels and even in the professional ranks. But being able to find a way to help them attain their greatest potential was continually challenging. I had to keep looking for something that was going to be consistent. I took notes and did all sorts of things to be able to repeat the process, and to some extent I found a way to do that and be fairly consistent, but I wasn't getting everybody. And the more I looked at it, the more I felt like I really couldn't do it as consistently as I wanted to. And as a master teacher and as a expert in the field, I felt like these students and dancers came to me to be able to help them find their way, not only technically, but to be able to unlock that great potential that's inside all of them. I had similar experiences while I was dancing and competing professionally. My coaches really felt like I could do more, like there was more inside of me that wasn't coming out. I would do a show and I'd have my mentors come up to me and go, "Why don't you compete like that?" And I just couldn't quite understand how to put the two together. And I took so many lessons and I worked with so many different coaches. And each step along the way, I kept feeling more and more of the weight on my shoulders to be able to attain this. As I said earlier, I only competed professionally for about 10 years, which is still a fairly long time, but the clock was definitely ticking as we got towards the end of our career before we retired. And the weight kept getting heavier, trying to find some way to unlock that full potential that my coaches saw in me, but nobody was really getting out of me. And I really felt like I had to do it. As each step went by, as each day kept progressing, the weight kept getting heavier and heavier, and I just kept feeling like I had to attain it. I had to be able to unlock that potential because it determined my ability to support my family, my future family, and what we were going to be able to do and how we were going to be able to live. And I started freaking out during that time because I thought, gosh, if I don't get a title, if I can't unlock that full potential, and be able to take myself to that next level, that it was going to affect my family and how we were going to live. I knew we wanted to have kids, and back then we hadn't quite decided to retire yet, but I just felt like if I didn't get that title, if I didn't unlock that full potential from inside, I was going to be just some other dancer, some average artist that maybe wasn't going to be anything. And I was so worried about getting a title, so worried about attaining that next level, that I think that it just kind of stunted my ability to dance. And I really just felt like, gosh, if I could go out there and unlock that potential, I would have the love from the audience. Everybody would recognize that I was good. Maybe not just my coaches who told me I was good, but I would actually get that feedback and feel like I had accomplished something. And I just, every step of the way was just so tough, with everybody telling me how good I was, but it wasn't coming out. If you could only just do a little bit more, if you could only just somehow bring out your soul while you danced. And I searched for it, and along the way, I don't know that we found it. We did attain some titles and some accomplishments through that, but we were constantly searching for it. So when I transitioned into teaching my couples that I worked with, the pros, the amateurs, I started to feel this weight come back on my shoulders again. Now I had a family. Now I had a house to pay for and cars to pay for and all of the things that you would want to have, the typical house and white picket fence. And all of a sudden, that weight from when I was competing professionally came back on my shoulders, and I started to feel it again, because now these kids, these professionals, they looked to me to be able to help them succeed. They trusted me to be able to help them attain their championships. And they were believing in what I could do for them to be able to attain that. And the weight of that just got so heavy, because what if I failed them? What if I wasn't enough? What if I didn't attain enough during my days of competing and during my education? And what if I didn't have enough to help them find their way? This was huge. This was a really, really big moment, and along the way I didn't know if I was going to have enough to get them to where they needed to be. I remember distinctly thinking how afraid I was that I was going to miss on the next champion that I was training and working with. I had 3 or 4 that were in the mix for winning that next title. And I remember thinking so clearly how afraid I was that I hadn't given them enough. And I started to create this online course that I kind of felt like was the next way to go, to try to help them unlock their potential and unlock their soul so that they could get more out of their dancing. And I took about 4 months to create this great online course, this great product, and I put my heart and soul into it. My team worked on it with me, and we pulled all of these all-nighters over the course of 4 months, and finally we finished it, and we thought, man, this is it. We got it. This is the one. We're going to do it. And then we released it. We put ads up on Facebook. We hit it hard, and we were so excited because we thought this was the one, and we had put so much into it. But the first day we put it up, we got no hits, none. And the next day we got no hits again, and here we were a week later, and a whole bunch of people had clicked to the ad, through the ad to see, and not a single person had bought, not one. And there were literally hundreds of people now visiting the site, but nobody wanted this product. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, maybe this is a lost cause. I just spent 4 months of my life, pulling all-nighters, putting this course together and trying to figure out some way to be able to help my future champions become champions. And not a single person was buying it. And I just felt like, holy cow, I just hit this major wall and I didn't know what to do. It was just, I just felt completely hopeless. Like I was stuck, didn't know what to do. There I was, no sales. My heart and soul poured into this product that I thought was the one. And I took a look at the stats for sales for the day, and again, there was nothing there. So I got in my car and was so frustrated that I just turned to some of my training and some of the things that I typically do when I'm frustrated. And so I turned on an audiobook in my car. I don't know about you guys, but I stopped listening to the radio. I started listening to audiobooks. And so I put on one of my old favorites, Napoleon Hill. And so I started listening to that, and I just kind of went to a random chapter and started listening to it again. And for some reason, I heard a piece that he did, and I decided to pause that and switch it to one of my newfound mentors. And I feel like he's my friend. I've listened to him so many times and worked with his information. But I started listening to his audio book, and I distinctly remember driving down Main Street in my town, and all of a sudden it hit me like a brick in the head. And there it was. I had it. I had this idea, and I didn't know what to do. I paused the book, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm driving down this cute little Main Street, with all the cute shops on the side. There's nowhere to pull over. It's like a 2-lane road. And I'm like freaking out because in my head, I had it. I had figured it out. It all came together. And so I just, I pulled up the notes on my phone, and at every stoplight on my way to where I decided I was going to go to this little river that was near my house. It's like in this little park and this little river that goes through. It's a beautiful place to just sit and think. And every stoplight, I'm typing on my notes as fast as I can these ideas that were coming to me. So I finally get to this little park where the river was, and I pulled up right next to the river. Luckily, there was nobody there, so pulled up right next to the river, unrolled my windows because it was hot, and I just started going to town. It was amazing. And I think for the next, I don't know, I must have been there 4 hours or so. I was supposed to have gone home, but I just was buzzing with this idea. And I started writing down everything I could think of. One of my administrative assistants, my right hand, she was out of town, and so I called her up, and she's in a different country, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like going 100 miles a minute. She probably thought I was crazy, but I was going so fast, going, okay, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and she's just like, whoa, slow down, explain to me what's happening. And I went like crazy, and for 4 hours, all I did was write notes and come up with this idea for Majic for Life. And it was ridiculous. As I came together with this idea, I realized that the stuff I had been learning from Napoleon Hill, if you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, you should. One of the things that he talks about is a mastermind group. And it finally hit me, the mastermind group I had to bring together. I had to bring together a group of artists and bring together their experiences, their life experiences, and what they're all about. And I figured it out. That was the path. That was going to be the solution that I could do to bring out the souls of these masters so I could give it to my kids, my students that needed it to be able to attain their championships and unlock their full potential. So over the next 3 to 4 weeks, I got my team together. I'm lucky enough that I had this great team of people together to build this project. And we met together, and as usual, they thought I was crazy. Wild and crazy ideas, no, Michael has another idea. But we brought this idea together, and we started to realize there was a lot to do, but everybody was excited about it, and so we just kept working 4 weeks or so, and we just started hammering it out and putting together the plans to make this thing work. So we're making these plans, and this epiphany of what we had to do was so exciting that we all jumped in, we started moving, we started getting together how we were going to make this work, and we had this team meeting when everybody was finally back in town and finally back together. We all got together, and as we sat at this team meeting, we realized, holy crap, we have come up with probably a bigger idea than we know how to handle. So we realized we needed to get in contact with all of these masters. We have, some contacts, but we needed to start gaining more contacts to get it. We realized we had a very limited budget to be able to bring this to life, and the resources were slim to be able to get it going. So we were bootstrapping it the whole way and utilizing the minimum amount of what we could do. But holy cow, when we realized how big this project was, we really freaked out, and it was quite an eye-opener as we started putting down the pieces of what we were going to do. Here we are, stuck behind this wall of so much to do, and not thinking that we could attain it, and finally we broke through, and we started to put together the systems and the processes, and one by one we checked them off, and we started to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We started to meet with the masters that we had on our list that we were going to bring into the system first, and they were so excited. And I remember that first meeting, we were so nervous going in to talk to that first master about joining Majic For Life, and they just lit up and went. They basically just told us, holy cow, I've been looking for this. This is exactly what I need. My students are going to dig it. They're going to really love this. And it was like that every time we went to the masters. And as we talked to them about it, and more and more the masters just absolutely loved what we were going to do. We did it. We did it. We finally got together this marketplace of masters' souls. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing. These masters have changed the world of people by bringing their soul and their experience to the table, being able to share what they're all about. But more importantly, they've been able to help other people and be able to change the world with their experiences. And this has been so rewarding and so fulfilling. I am so excited for you to be able to experience this firsthand. These masters are amazing. They have already changed my world. I feel so blessed and privileged to have been able to sit through and listen to these masters teach about what their life was all about, what their purpose was about, how they found their purpose, and what they did to achieve their greatness and their mastery. And I know that bringing this information to you is going to change your life. It's already changed mine. I am so lucky to be able to sit through all of them and listen to them and help them put it together. It's already changing my world, so I know it'll change yours. The people that have experienced what our product is bringing to the line, they're just saying wonderful things about it. You have got to experience this. You're going to love it. It's amazing. Try it out. I really think you're going to appreciate it. It's very moving. It's going to move your soul. It's going to move you to get going, follow your passion, and go after what it is that you love the most, your dreams and your aspirations, if they've been hidden inside of you, this is going to help bring it out. If they're right there and you know you have the potential and you know you're just right about to unlock everything that you have and you just need that little extra thing, come and listen to these masters. They've figured it out. They've spent a lifetime chasing their dreams and following their soul. I encourage you to check out each of our masters. They have some amazing stories, and we have put together these amazing courses we call Soul Food. These courses are amazing. You're going to love them. There is nothing like them, and they're going to move your world. I am so excited to hopefully change your world. So enjoy your time looking through the masters that we have. Enjoy their stories. Even if that's all you do, you're going to love their stories. They are amazing. They really are. And we hope to hear back from you. Send us some feedback and talk to us about what you've experienced. They've changed our world. We know they'll change your world. We're so excited. Enjoy your time on our site. If you have questions, please let us know. We'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to keep finding the magic for your life. Michael Johnson. Peace out.